today I wanted to try something new. As you know, I got an iPad. If you watched my last video, you know that. And also, one of my goals this year is to practice drawing people characters, specifically some characters from classic fairy tales or stories. So last night I did an illustration on my iPad of Snow White, kind of my interpretation, not like the Disney Snow White. I looked into like when, you know, she's supposed to live and where, etc., and tried to do something somewhat historically accurate. So yeah, so I did that and I really like how it turned out. But then I kind of felt like I really wanted to see what it looks like done traditionally with watercolor. So I'm going to show you guys the digital process and then also the traditional process. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know below if you prefer the digital or the traditional version. So, what do you guys think? Do you like the traditional one or the digital one? I actually enjoy doing the watercolor one more than the digital, although I really enjoyed the sketching process digitally, being able to erase things so easily and just get everything how I wanted. So I kind of feel like the fact that I was able to print off that sketch again and have her in like the same exact pose and not have to rework that or anything was really, really nice. So yeah, I think it depends on the piece, but for this one, the kind of fairy tale magical feeling, I think it's kind of nice to have that watercolor texture on there. I am like just constantly struggling between going to my sketchbook or my iPad because I hadn't touched my sketchbook in a few weeks, guys. I've just been doing everything on my iPad, which in a way has been nice because it's, you know, I'm not like wasting a bunch of paper using like making sketches that I'm not going to do anything with. So in a way that's good. But also I'm someone who really likes, you know, traditional mediums and feel bad that I haven't been doing it. So I did draw a little character last night. Let's see here. Here he is. And I had so much fun using my pencils and my markers and everything. It felt really good and really reassuring to me that like I can still draw on paper. So yeah, so I'm going to keep using both because I think that there's awesome uses for both of them. Like, for example, for my book dummy, I had a drawing that was just supposed to be like black and white and pretty crisp. And I went back over it on my iPad and it looks like so much better. It looks really high quality, like finished, even though it's just a black and white line drawing. So that feels really good. It's also, my iPad's been great for designing my pins And there are times when I want like a solid color, and you just really can't get that with watercolor. And you could do like gouache, but it's still gonna have like brush strokes, and sometimes I just don't want that look. So I'm going to continue to use each for different purposes, but I thought this would be fun for us to both be able to kind of just compare the same illustration done digitally and traditionally. So let me know what you guys think below. Hi guys, so I'm really excited today because my pins arrived, specifically the sea otter pins. They are my first non-bunny pins, and I'm really excited because they are going to be helping to benefit the Ocean Conservancy. So 10% of the proceeds go to them. So that's really exciting. My otter character has been one of my most popular non-bunny illustrations, and I love sea otters, so I'm really excited. I usually open these on my own, but I thought it'd be really fun to do a little unboxing. So, and then you guys can see how the pins arrived to me. They come via DHL and ship super quickly. And let me get my scissors if I can find them. Well, I have a knife here, but yeah, so you guys will get to see them with me. Cut this open. So it comes in this bag, this poly mailer bag, and it comes in, oh gosh, a box. So usually I order 100. But for these, I ordered 50 because most of the time, things that are not bunny related are not quite as popular in my shop. But I did get a number of pre-orders for these, so, and I'm sure I'll get more once I'm able to post how cute they are. So anyway, let's go. Wonder if you want to see this like at a different angle. I'm gonna pause. Moved you guys down a little bit so you can see. So I'm going to get this open. I'm really excited that these came in because they are manufactured in China with a really great manufacturer there. And he told me they were going to do their best to get them out before the Chinese New Year, which they're going to have like 3 weeks off. So it was either like they shipped now or they shipped mid-February, which would have been a really long time for people to wait who pre-ordered. So really nice that he just made it happen. So anyway, okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Okay, so they come in this bag. This. Oh, they're so, oh my gosh, they're even better than I like thought they might be. Wow. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited. Do you want to see? They look so good. So they are in gold, and I love how the colors turn out. And then look, the little backers are like this aqua color. The computer's making it look a little bit more blue. It's really like a minty color. Wow, I'm so excited. They're really like, they're kind of big, but I'm happy about that. So, oh, that is so cool. They did a really good job. I'm surprised like that they were able to go around like all of these little details and stuff. That is super exciting. Wow. Okay, oh, and then let's see if this works. So I got these backing cards made for them, which are just business cards with rounded corners. And so I was like a little worried that they might not be wide enough for these pins, but I tried to like measure it out as best I could. So let's see one. I love these. I get them made at Vistaprint, and they're 100% recycled. So, oh, it's gonna be perfect. Look at this. Oh, that is gonna be so perfect. I'm gonna put it on there right now so you guys can see. I'm so excited about these. Wow. They look like fancy, if I do say so myself. So I just kind of poke it through the paper. I could have centered that a little bit better, but you'll get the idea. Oh my gosh. Doesn't that look so professional? You guys might think I'm a professional, and I guess I am, but I don't think that way about myself. It's like a whole lot. So when something like this turns out really well, and I feel like, oh, I can see that in a store, I feel really proud of it. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that's really exciting. I've got to get these packed up for people after lunch, and you can head on to the link below to purchase one if you would like. So I have gotten the pin orders taken to the post office. There were, I don't know, maybe 25 or something, and a lot of them had multiples, so it took me a while to get those packed up, but that was exciting. And I thought I would tell you guys some kind of exciting news. So, oh my gosh, there's a squirrel up in the tree. Okay. So exciting news. It's not anything like, you know, official or a huge deal, but just very encouraging to me. So, you know, if you have been following my channel or following me on Instagram, that I really want to be able to do children's book illustration. And it is, I think, a lot harder of a world to get into than people realize, especially, you know, if you're not just going to be doing self-publishing. You actually want to be, you know, represented by an agent and published with publishers. So, you know, I've been sending my work to agents for the past few months, and I'm really excited because I found an agency that was really exciting to me, and I don't know how I didn't know about them. After all these ones I've sent to, I didn't know about them, but anyway, I found them. And I sent to them, and usually, so some agencies say, you know, give us 6 months to get back to you, and then you may never hear back, and you can be waiting and thinking, oh, when am I gonna get this email, and then you never get it. So they got back to me in 4 days, and were just so encouraging, and really felt like for the first time there was some kind of like a connection where they got what I was going for, and it wasn't like, because most of the responses I get are like, oh, well, it's good, but it's just not going to work for my audience or my style, what I'm looking to include in the, you know, artists I represent. So they said I have serious potential, guys, and that is just a huge vote of confidence, because when you just keep getting like these really short answers back, which is what I expect. I don't expect, like, I got really long email back from this person, and it was just really nice, and they gave me some things to work on, so I'm going to be working on things, but I think that they are definitely interested in my work, and they would just like to see more from me. And so one of the things that they would like me to work on is more people, because I have some people sketches in my portfolio, but not really like many finished drawings of people. I think there's a few reasons for that. One is that once I started drawing animals, I just found that really fun, and so I just didn't even try to draw people very often. And then when I would, I felt like I had not progressed you know, like I've been painting animals for years and progressed so much, but I feel like my people hadn't really progressed since I was like in, you know, first year of college or something. Like I could draw a realistic person, but as far as something that feels like cohesive with my animal illustration style and stuff, it was just kind of hard. So there's that. Whenever I post a person thing on Instagram, it typically doesn't get as much like excitement out of my followers, which is fine because most of them are there for the animals, which is what I mostly do. But it kind of makes me feel like, well, no one likes that. I guess I'm not good. So, but they liked what they could see of the people I've done, and want me to do some more kids and more interaction. So even interaction between my animal characters. So those are things I'm going to be working on. And I know that earlier in this video, I did that Snow White illustration, and I did a digital version and a watercolor version, and I yesterday, 2 days ago now, came up with a little drawing that is of a park ranger and a raccoon, and the raccoon is getting there to go hiking after dark, but the park is closed, which is just kind of funny to me. So anyway, but I wanted to include it in this video because earlier I was talking about digital versus traditional mediums and what I'm thinking about that, how I feel about it. And so I thought I would show you guys. I started off this painting doing the sketch on my iPad. And I think that, at least with people, I feel really good about being able to start the sketch on my iPad, because the scariest thing for me is like marking up a pencil on paper that like I feel like I can't fully erase it and I mess up and I don't feel as loose. So on my iPad I can just try as many things as I want and be as silly or embarrassing or stupid looking as I want to be drawing these people, and get it refined to what I want it to look like, and then print it out on watercolor paper. So that is what I did. And then I continued working on it in watercolor, and also did color pencil and some pen and some Copic markers. It felt really good, guys, to work with actual art supplies again. It felt really good, and I wanted to do like the whole thing that way. I was trying to like not do digital at all, but then after I got to the point where I felt like maybe I was almost done, it decided to go back in digitally. At first it was just gonna be like a trial because my husband said he thought it needed some more contrast, and I think he was definitely right. So I was just gonna like put it into my iPad to test out what I could do in watercolor. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, you know, it's really scary when you get to the stage of a painting where you feel like it's not fully ready, but you feel like you need to tweak something about it, but you've come so far. You know, you spent 3 hours on this painting or 4 hours or whatever. It's hard to make yourself be like, oh, I'm gonna put some black paint there, and then you can't get it up. So I started working on it on my iPad and ended up really liking the effects I was getting, and I think I'm getting better at knowing the tools on there, the different brushes, so that I can make it more seamless with my, I mean, it's not quite seamless, but more seamless with my watercolor, making it look more like I'm using traditional mediums. And it's very exciting. So I did tell this agent that I had completed one new drawing. I'm very hasty, and that I would be working on more. And they said that they would love to see more from me in the spring/summer. So I'm going to take my time. This is the thing that I learn about myself, is that oftentimes I find that I do a piece and I feel really excited about it at first, and then maybe like a week or two later I feel like, oh, I don't know. And so or even like this piece, like I thought it was done, and then Alex had that suggestion for me, and then I got it on my iPad, and now I look at like the two versions and I feel like, wow, like I'm really glad that I didn't just stop. So I guess I'm not a perfectionist, but maybe I need to be a little bit more of a perfectionist. So yes, very exciting. Okay guys, so I wanted to give you a chance to see this more close up. Can't get that part to go away right now, but this is the original watercolor before I did anything digitally to it. And yeah, as you can see, I didn't even finish the raccoon because I thought I was gonna play around digitally and then come back in with watercolor to kind of recreate the digital test process. But anyway, so when I first did this, I was feeling like this, you know, the finished aspects of it. Like I thought he was finished. I thought the background was finished pretty much. But as you can see here, this is the version I went in with digitally. Man, I'm getting tired, sorry. And anyway, I'm really, really happy with how his face turned out. I ended up doing more shadows, and as you can see, I think that those look really like they were done with colored pencil or something. But I was able to play around with them and tweak them, which is really cool. I was able to add a little bit more shading on his body. And also, I mean, not only that, but the background, you'll see a difference between the two backgrounds, just the amount of contrast and depth that there is. So I feel really good about that. My raccoon also got a little bit of a change of his pose. I took away part of his head, so he was like that. And it just felt a little weird to me. It didn't feel quite right. Like, it didn't feel like you should be able to see all of that ear area. So I made it more of just a straight profile view, added some more darkness, just some like black marks that really you can't get with a pen, and you can't get them with a black colored pencil. So, and that's the same, you know, here with these shadows, because I was going in with black paint, you know, and adding in shadows in between and stuff, but it never dries dark enough. So, part of what was so good about being able to do it digitally is just being able to get that sharp contrast even on things like his like the shadow under his chin and his hand and everything. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm excited about it. Like my little owl friend, it's exciting because I think I was able to add these contrasting shadows and details without sacrificing the essence of the watercolor, because, you know, at least right now I can't get effects like, you know, this watercolor shading I did initially. I can't really achieve that exactly with digital, or the way that it bleeds from, you know, black to blue there. But I did do, I mean, you can tell this is digital, I think, but I did his backpack and everything. And it was actually like the first time that I really used the watercolor, I think, what is it called? Blotch brush on Procreate. And yeah, it kind of created that mottled look, which is works well with the kind of watercolor look that I have going on in the rest of it. Someone asked me recently what are my favorite brushes on Procreate. I have not made any of my own yet. I know some artists do that, so I'm starting to use the blotchy brush. I believe, like you'll see here, that's the chalk. But then for like these black lines, and what I've been using in a lot of my illustrations lately is the ink bleed brush, which is in the ink section. And it just kind of looks like a pen being used on rough paper. Yeah, I think that might be the chalk here, but it just has a very hand-done quality about it. And I love the brushes on Procreate because sometimes on Photoshop, if you have one that's supposed to look chalky, it'll be like little dots.
that like it's like a pattern that repeats itself as you're drawing, but this just seems much more organic and behaves a little bit more like actual, you know, an actual piece of chalk or charcoal or something. So anyway, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I did choose to leave some things like these marker streaks on the sign. I could have perfected it and I played with that, but I wanted there to still be some kind of rough, raw elements. And yeah, I'm really excited. Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, comment below. What is your experience? Are you someone who has always done digital? You just started off with a tablet or a Wacom tablet or something like that? Or what is your experience been like transitioning from being someone who uses traditional mediums to someone who's also using something like Procreate on the iPad now? Let me know. Okay, it is getting dark, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for the night, but I want to thank my patrons so much. They are the reason that I was able all this fall to set aside some time, despite the crazy amount of orders, to submit to agencies. I just don't think I could have justified spending that much time building up my portfolio. I made a whole book dummy. I made like 6 new finished illustrations, more than that, for my portfolio, and now I'm gonna do some more. So, and I do share more of that kind of thing on Patreon than I do on my Instagram typically. So if you want to be a patron and support me, you can head over to that link, which is down below. If you want to purchase one of these pins and support me in that way, that is awesome. And if you're just enjoying the content that you see here, you can like and subscribe. See you later.